If everyone understood your struggle, you might seek comfort from people. But when only Allah knows, you turn to Him completely. And that is where real growth begins. There is a special closeness that forms between you and Allah during hardship. When your heart is broken, your du'as become more sincere. When you feel weak, your reliance on Him becomes stronger. And in those moments, even though life feels heavy, your soul is being lifted. Never think your silent struggles are wasted. Allah records every tear, every effort, every moment of restraint. What you are going through is not a punishment, it is preparation. He is teaching you patience, strengthening your faith and refining your character. And one day you will look back and realize that the hardest moments were the ones that brought you closest to Him. So keep going, even if no one applauds you, even if no one understands. Allah sees you, Allah knows you, and Allah is with you every step of the way. Silence is often misunderstood. In a world that rewards noise, attention, and constant explanation, choosing to stay quiet can feel like weakness. People assume that if you are not defending yourself, not reacting, not speaking loudly about your pain, then you must be broken or defeated. But in reality, silence can be one of the strongest choices a believer makes. It is not the absence of strength, it is the presence of control, wisdom, and deep trust in Allah. There are moments when responding only creates more chaos, when words turn into arguments, and arguments turn into regrets. In those moments, silence protects your heart, it protects your peace. It allows you to step back and remember that not every battle is worth fighting and not every comment deserves a reply. Sometimes the strongest response is to remain calm and let Allah handle what you cannot. Silence also gives you space to heal. When you stop explaining yourself to people who have already misunderstood you, you begin to listen to your own heart again. You begin to recognize your limits, your wounds, and your needs. Healing does not always happen in conversation. Often it happens in reflection. In quiet moments, you begin to make sense of what hurt you, what weakened you, and what you need to let go of in order to move forward. There is also great dignity in silence. It takes strength to walk away from drama, to refuse to react emotionally, to choose patience over pride. The ego wants to respond, to prove a point, to be seen as right. But the soul that trusts Allah chooses restraint. It understands that Allah is the best defender, and that justice in His hands is far more perfect than anything we could achieve through arguments or anger. Silence teaches you self-control. It trains your heart to pause before reacting, to think before speaking, and to act with wisdom rather than emotion. And through that process, you grow stronger internally. You become less affected by the opinions of people and more anchored in your connection with Allah. When you learn to be silent in the right moments, you protect your peace, preserve your energy, and allow Allah to work on your behalf. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet confidence of someone who knows that Allah is enough and that His plan will always be better than any reaction you could make. There is a powerful beauty in rebuilding yourself quietly, away from the eyes of people and the noise of opinions. When you choose to work on yourself in silence, you are choosing sincerity over validation. You are no longer driven by applause, praise, or recognition. Instead, your focus shifts inward, toward your relationship with Allah and the person you are becoming. This kind of growth is pure because it is not influenced by how others assess you, but by how Allah sees you. When you rebuild in silence, you stop announcing your plans and start living them. You stop explaining your intentions and start proving them through consistency. Not everyone needs to know what you are fixing, what you are leaving behind, or what you are praying for. Some journeys are meant to be private, protected from unnecessary opinions and distractions. The more people know, the more voices they add, some encouraging, some discouraging. Silence protects your progress. There is also wisdom in keeping your transformation between you and Allah. When you fall, you can rise without embarrassment. When you struggle, you can turn to Him without feeling judged. When you improve, you do it for His pleasure, not for praise. This creates a level of sincerity that cannot be matched when your growth is on display. You begin to do good because it feels right, not because it looks good. Rebuilding in silence teaches patience. Change does not happen overnight. Habits take time to break. Faith takes time to strengthen. Character takes time to refine. And when no one is watching, you learn to stay committed even on the days you feel unmotivated. You learn discipline. You learn perseverance. You learn to trust the process Allah has written for you. There is also protection in silence. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. Not everyone understands your vision. Some people only know the old version of you and struggle to accept the new one. By keeping your journey private, you avoid unnecessary negativity, envy, and doubt. You allow your results to speak for themselves when the time is right. And when that time comes, when Allah decides to reveal your growth, it will be undeniable. People will see the strength in your character, the calm in your speech, the peace in your presence. They may not know the nights you struggled or the prayers why. Whispered, but Allah will know. And that is what truly matters. Rebuilding yourself in silence is not hiding, it is preparing. It is trusting Allah enough to let Him shape you before He presents you to the world. When Allah becomes the center of your life, the noise of the world slowly begins to fade. The opinions, the expectations, the pressure to keep up, all of it loses its grip on your heart. This does not happen overnight, but gradually as your trust in Allah deepens, you realize that many of the things that once disturbed your peace no longer have power over you. When your focus shifts to pleasing Allah, everything else falls into its proper place. The world is loud. It constantly demands attention, approval, and reaction. People talk, judge, compare, and assume. If you allow it, this noise can exhaust you emotionally and spiritually. But when you anchor yourself to Allah, you gain clarity. You begin to understand that not every voice deserves your energy and not every opinion deserves a response. Your heart becomes calmer because it is no longer chasing validation from people. It is seeking closeness to its Creator. Focusing on Allah gives you perspective. Problems that once felt overwhelming begin to feel manageable. You realize that nothing happens without His permission and that every difficulty carries a purpose, even if you cannot see it yet. This understanding brings a deep sense of peace. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start trusting that Allah is guiding you through something that will ultimately benefit you. When Allah is your priority, your reactions change. You become slower to anger, quicker to forgive, and more patient with situations that once frustrated you. You learn to pause, to make dua instead of complaining, and to place your worries in the hands of the one who controls everything. This does not mean life becomes easy. It means your heart becomes strong enough to handle it. The more you remember Allah, the less power distractions have over you. The desire to impress fades. The need to explain yourself disappears. You become comfortable walking your path, even if others don't understand it. Your confidence no longer comes from people's approval, but from knowing that Allah is with you. And in that state of trust, something beautiful happens. Your heart becomes steady. Your mind becomes clear. Your soul becomes light. The world may still be noisy, but inside there is calm. Because when Allah is your focus, nothing else has the strength to shake you. In the end, rebuilding yourself in silence is a journey of deep trust, patience, and faith. It is about choosing Allah over noise, sincerity over attention, and growth over approval. Every quiet struggle, every hidden tear, and every unanswered question is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and closer to your Creator. You may not see the results immediately, but Allah is working in ways you cannot imagine. What feels like delay is often protection. What feels like loneliness is often preparation. Remember, not all progress is visible, and not all victories are loud. Some of the most powerful transformations happen in the heart, unseen by people, but fully known by Allah. When you rebuild yourself with sincerity, when you rely on Him in silence, and when you stay patient through the process, you are never losing. You are growing. So keep going. Keep trusting. Keep turning back to Allah. Even on your weakest days, one day you will look back and realize that the quiet moments, the silent prayers, and the unseen struggles were the very things that shaped your strength. And when Allah finally reveals the outcome of your patience, it will be more beautiful than anything you could have planned yourself. Thank you, Eve. Rayon.